Previous video, we just started putting that cam bar pin into our linkage arm. So I'm just going to do a fasten mate now, going on the underside of this, choosing the center point. I'm going to come over here to my pair cam. I'm going to look and I want to find the bottom, and I believe that's it. I'm going to flip it on its axis there and green check mark it. And yep, we can see that my pin fits in nicely. What I noticed is we didn't put a hole in for the slider pin to go into. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my part studio. I'm going to hide those parts that we had open from before. I'm going to go to my slider here, which we can see. And I'm going to put a sketch down on that front face of that slider and orientate myself to it. I know that hole for that pin needs to be, I'm going to put it in the center here, finding that center point. It needs to be 0.25 inches, and I'm going to dimension this 0.2 from the side. And then I'm going to come up to my extrusion, removal, and I can green check mark that. The great part is, even though I made an error by not having that feature, when I make that change in that part there, it corresponds here as well. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to insert my next pin. So as we come, I want my cam bar pin right here. That's the one I just used. So I want my cam axle. I misnamed that. That should have been the slider bar pin. So that's what I named it, but if you didn't name it or had it something else, that's the pin. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to choose this revolve mate. I'm going to choose the underside center there. And I'm going to do the same to this top hole here. And I'm going to flip it. I did purposely pull my follower off, so it's going to be easier to see what I need to get on that constraint. And I'm going to just rotate this down as well. So I'm going to choose that same fasten mate here, and I'm going to rotate down and find the bottom side of this. And while I'm on the underside here, I'm going to find the bottom of this center hole there as well. Now, if everything's constrained right, we shouldn't light up in red there. If things aren't constrained right, you'll get lots of red saying you have conflicting constraints. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go to that original revolution. I'm going to right click on it and animate it. We want to rotate in a loop, and I'm going to make this go a little quicker, and I'm going to shorten my steps to 150 just because I get a lag when recording. And we can see that our cam is now working. So again, we have this rotary motion here that's resulting in our reciprocating motion. So I hope this helps as you're designing something that would need a crank and slider.